welcome to the best YouTube channel ever. Okay, so I was having a conversation with somebody and I thought to myself, this is a great video topic, talking about traveling when you're alone. How to travel by yourself. And, I was at, a social event and I was talking to this person who was married, very traditional man. He started questioning why my biceps are so big. True story. He was like, what's the point? I said, you know what? Suck my biceps, then suck my nipples. No, but I low-key did kind of like tell him like shut up because I got tired of his ASS. But yeah, anyway, so we were having a conversation about traveling by yourself. And he was like, well, I don't think ladies should travel by yourself. And I said, I don't disagree. The first one is obviously walking around. Okay, I think that's a given. But I think where people fall as a trap is they actually tend to spend too much money. I want to be as resourceful as I can when I go and I travel. Okay, that includes food. All right, now that means, yes, like you shouldn't be going out to eat like every night, in my opinion. I mean, you can, but it depends, just depends. But be resourceful because you want to make sure that you have enough funds in case an emergency happens or something goes sideways and you need to go to the hospital. Okay, so that's how I look at it, having that tactical mindset. Always want to be cautious and take your precautions and always think 2 steps ahead, also called forecasting the future. Okay, so very important. Take advantage of free stuff, take advantage of things that you can find that are open to the public. Okay, I really like to go meetup groups. It's an app that you can, get, I join like different meetup groups, So another one is Eventbrite. So Eventbrite is a really great app. Like in the DC area, they'll have events there. Like for the 4th of July, they had a ton of events. We like to go dining. I really like fine dining. You can go try to restaurants. So, some people get a little bit of anxiety dining alone. I think it's a beautiful thing. Whenever I see somebody eating by themselves at a fine restaurant, I think it's adorable. I think it's so romantic. I think it is a great opportunity to experience yourself. By myself, I went to a buffet and I purposely did not eat all day. Okay, I ate a little bit in the morning and then I went to train in the gym. I woke up at like 10 a.m. I went to the gym from like 11 to 3 or something. I went back to my Airbnb, got changed, took a nap, relaxed, and then went out for the evening to a buffet. I went to a buffet called Umi in Texas, and it is a sushi buffet because I love me some sushi. And had all you can eat buffet. It was so fun, and fancy. They had all these fancy lights going on, Yeah, it was I had a really fun time and it was a really fun experience. I had a rental car, so, I zigzagged my way there. It was only 30 miles, which is kind of far. Other things you could do, like trying different classes. So, look up kind of like events, but look up maybe like a cooking class or maybe like a social class or maybe like I think it's called like a tantra class. It's like where you can mingle with people. So people purposely will go there and like speed date. If you are somebody that likes to work on their computer, you can go to different cafes. So, if you're like me, you like some fancy tea, go and find a nice cafe. Don't find like a Starbucks. Find something different. Find like a mom and pop cafe and then maybe a Starbucks and then maybe like a Panera and then maybe like another mom and pop, fun tea shop and experience with different things. The nice thing about those little shops is that they have personality and you can see different personalities and experience that. Other things that you can do is go and I really like to go to like nature walks because I really love nature. So you can go to like state parks. You just want to be careful if you're by yourself, but something that's kind of open, has a body of water. Usually bodies of water will attract more people, so attend as much as you can to stay safe. But it's a really good opportunity for you to go and journal, right? You can go and journal, you can go and read, you can go and paint like what you see, you can take pictures, you can just go there and just, watch on your phone, maybe some YouTube, go for a walk over there at the state park or at the, body of water, at the beach or whatever, be there from, 8 to 12, meditate. I think it's worth it. Other things that you can do. So when I went to Texas, and I went to Florida, I really was into like tour buses. So I'm kind of I tend to be more mindful of, how much it's going to cost, because I like to look at things in terms of not only how much is it going to cost, like the ticket, but also what is the experience worth and how long the tourist bus is going to ride and really take me around for. So, but yeah, tourist buses are really great ways to, again, meet people. Again, going back to the meetup group, the app that I showed you, or the just those two apps are really great opportunities to see what else is kind of out there, if you will. You can do is something as simple as go get your nails done. Like, I really like to go to different salons. You can go get your nails did, you can go get your hair cut, you can go to a nice little spa. Spas are really fun. I think that spas are super cool. You can take a 2-day spa, budget for it accordingly, and experience what their spa day is like there, or get a massage. I really love to get massages in different places when I travel. Other thing that you can do is, if you're into growing 30-inch biceps, is you can go to different gyms. So I really like to spend a lot of time there and see the gyms, and after the gym, maybe I'll go to like a smoothie shop. You still have time to go back to your hotel, your Airbnb, and shower, and then go back out. Another thing that you can do also is Airbnb has a thing called experiences. I actually discovered it when I was kind of browsing on Airbnb for fun. I really like Airbnb because Airbnb, you can experience different people's homes, hotels, whatever. And so when you book something, it will come with experiences. So at the top here, experiences, and you can book something. If you are somebody like me, where you like to take a rental car, so you have more autonomy, if you will, you have to be really mindful of where you're parking, and that can get really stressful. So, and this reminds me, water sports. So if you're going to an area where there's a lot of water, like when I went to Florida, I went to do jet ski. I went on jet ski. I got a jet ski and I went into the ocean. It's actually really scary to be transparent there, because there are sharks, and I wasn't completely by myself. There were other people, but they all kind of went God knows where, and they all had partners, and I was just there, cruising with my pimp, because I'm a pimp. And so I was on my jet ski, and that was super fun. So, I took a day to go jet skiing. So traveling alone can be scary. It can be boring sometimes, but I think maybe like a 2-day or 3-day trip by yourself is really refreshing. Allows you to get to know yourself, allows you to identify what your patterns are and who you are as a person, maybe what kind of stresses you out. Maybe trains stress you out, using maps stress you out. Do you prefer a rental? Do you prefer an Uber? Do you prefer to eat out? Do you prefer to eat in? Do you prefer to sleep at an Airbnb or at a hotel? All of these things make you who you are. Last but certainly not least, go shopping. You have to go shopping. I really love to go to the mall. You can go to the mall. You can go to an outside mall. You can go to an indoor mall. You can go to a mom and pop store, whatever. You can go to boutiques. You can go to vintage stores. You can go to thrift stores. I love going to thrift stores. Another thing with meetup groups is that they also have travel groups. So you can go and find a travel group to travel with. And then lastly, the other thing, which I haven't tried yet, or maybe I won't, I don't know how I feel about it. It's called Hostel World. One of my coworkers that I was working with, she had told me about it. And this girl's crazy. She's a little wacko. She was telling me these horrible stories. She basically, long story short, a guy ended up following her and following her, I guess. And she seemed it sounded like that's what she wanted, which is really weird. Anyways, so she told me about Hostel World, and it's apparently a place where you can travel to and share a room with other people, which is actually pretty interesting. I haven't used it yet, but this is what it looks like. That is the app, Hostel World. And then, click on it and you can find, if I want to go to Barcelona, I can find a hostel, or I guess. And that's a cool way, I guess, to meet people. Personally, I don't know if I would use it, because I think that people can be people, and people are going to do what people want to do, and people are going to be stupid. And so, you know what I'm saying if you know what I'm saying. And, girls bringing guys in, and you don't want to be hearing what they're doing at night. So, yeah, I probably will stay away from that unless I'm with somebody. But if I'm by myself, it's nice to go on Airbnb where you can have more control over your environment, at least. So, those are a couple tips on travel traveling. And last, certainly but not least, is go grocery shopping. Is super fun when you go to different places because different chains have like different displays. They have different food. They have different grocery stores. It's kind of like the restaurants where you can go and see different restaurants, experience different people, whatever. Really fun, super cool, and really life enhancing, I suppose. Other things to look at is trying to find and trying to stay within the hot spots, the parts where there tends to be more people, because again, safety and just trying to stay with people. Because when you travel by yourself, you don't always necessarily want to just be by yourself. You don't want to isolate yourself. So just keep that in mind. Also, I think people tend to think, well, I'm just going to travel by myself and do whatever and be away from people. Well, I would encourage you to stay away from that mindset. It can become very lonely very quickly, and it can be very dangerous.